Imagine you have two barrels of crude oil in front of you. At first glance, they look the same. Black, heavy, they smell like oil, but one is worth much more than the other. How do you know? That's where the topic of oil quality comes in. And the first last name you need to learn is API gravity. API gravity is a scale invented by the American Petroleum Institute to measure how light or heavy a crude oil is. The higher the API, the lighter the crude, and the more it floats on water. The lower it is, the heavier, denser, and more difficult it is to process. A crude of 40 degrees API is light, ideal for getting a lot of gasoline and diesel. One with 20 degrees API is heavy, it's thick, and the refinery has to work much harder to squeeze valuable products out of it. But API isn't enough. The second last name of quality is sulfur. That's where the two magic words appear, sweet and sour. A sweet crude is low in sulfur, normally less than 0.5%. It's cleaner, less corrosive, generates fewer emissions, and generally pays better. A sour crude has more sulfur, it attacks pipes, it pollutes more, it requires desulfurization units and more CAPEX in the refinery. And what is CAPEX? It's capital expenditure. This means all the money that the company has to invest in physical infrastructure, such as new plants, processing units, equipment, tanks, and treatment systems. It's not just the month's expenses. It's millions that are sunk into steel, valves, and technology to be able to process that more complicated crude. The market knows this. A sour crude that requires more CAPEX and more treatment usually has discounts compared to a sweet crude of the same API. So, when you come across a spec sheet that indicates, for example, 33 APA crude oil, 1.5% sulfur content, your professional brain has to automatically translate it to, say, medium light, but sour. Be careful with the processing units, with the emissions, with the CAPEX, and with the real cost of complying with regulations. Because in this game, it's not enough to know if there's oil or not. You have to know what oil, what API, what sulfur, and what that means for your margin, your contracts, and your risk. And if you feel that these numbers still don't speak to you clearly, that's precisely where it makes a difference to have people by your side who live and breathe reading API, sulfur, CAPEX, and inspection reports every day. That's what Trend Oil Vision is for, so that every time you look at a crude oil specification, you read it with a professional's eye and make decisions with the confidence of someone who knows exactly what they're buying. This is Trend Oil Vision. Understand oil like a professional. If you like these types of videos, like, subscribe, follow us, and comment. Thanks.